Greetings, everybody. This is your boy Rasta Thomas. This is the Negro Network. So I want to talk about the Food and Drug Administration, FDA. So earlier this week, they said they want to ban menthol in cigarettes. Now, all cigarettes don't contain menthol, but they only focus on the ones that contain menthol. That's the ones they want back. So let me give you my view on this here real quick. All right, this is your boy Rasta Thomas. This is the Negro Network. Okay, so when I heard this story at first, I thought this was another, like a CNN fake news kind of story, but this is actually real news because I check it being broadcast on all the major news networks and different platforms. This is actually a real story. So I get some of these links from msnbc.com. I ain't gonna go through the whole story. I'll just highlight a couple of the stuff I've seen it. Now check this out. Right here it said, the Food and Drug Administration appears likely to move to ban menthol in cigarettes this week. A step experts say that has been years in the making and that could have a significant positive impact on the health of black Americans. Now that last line right there, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It could have a significant positive impact on the health of black Americans. It's not all Americans. All right, let me keep reading. When inhaled, menthol produces a cooling sensation in the throat that reduces the harsh taste of cigarettes and the irritation of nicotine. The vast majority of black smokers, 85%, use menthol cigarettes, and black men and women are much less likely than white Americans to be diagnosed with lung cancer at an early, potential, more treatable stage. Black men have the highest lung cancer death rate in the country. Okay, again, so this is the FDA, this is the government. So they want to ban menthol in cigarettes, and they're saying the majority of black smokers use menthol cigarettes. Now, black people are 13% of the population in America. And they're aiming toward banning menthol cigarettes because most black smokers are being affected by this menthol cigarette thing. So it seemed like they just aim toward black people in this. Not all people who smoke menthol, because it got more white menthol cigarette smokers than black menthol cigarette smokers. But for some reason, the FDA only focusing on the black menthol cigarette smokers. Again, black people is only 13% of the population. You do the math. All right, let me keep reading. When you combine high rates of smoking with the systematic racism in the healthcare systems, oh my God, you have a tremendous health disparity, said Erica Sward, the National Assistant Vice President for Advocacy, American Lung Association. Both the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the National Institute of Health recently announced plans to address structural racism in healthcare. Okay, so now they're tying this thing into racism now. Systematic racism. Okay. Now, I thought the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, was trying to ban the menthol because, they're saying is making it easier for people to keep smoking, but then they turn around and they tie it into systematic racism. It's getting interesting. Let me keep reading. The FDA faces a Thursday court-ordered deadline to respond to a citizen petition sent to the agency in 2013, urging that to ban menthol as a flavor in cigarettes. When the FDA failed to act at this time, two groups the African American Tobacco Control Leadership Council, and the Action on Smoking and Health sued. So they sued the FDA after the FDA failed to act on this deadline in 2030. It's possible a decision could come earlier than Thursday, which would have been this Thursday, today. And because the lawsuit only mentions regular cigarettes, it's unclear whether electronic cigarettes and other tobacco products that contain menthol would be affected. I guess maybe that chewing tobacco, that dip. But then again, see, they're not mentioning that because most black people who use tobacco products with menthol, they just smoke. They smoke Newports. Like you could see in the same news story, they have a picture of some Newport cigarettes here. Directly targeting black people. They ain't talking about the dip. Some of them stuff kind menthol too. But I think most people who I see using dip is white people. So they're not concerned about white people. This is just targeting black people. Interesting. Let me keep reading. From our findings, we estimate that banning menthol cigarettes in the U.S. would lead to an additional 923,000 smokers to quit, including 230,000 African American smokers. Fang, a professor of psychology and public health and health systems at the University of Waterloo in Ontario, said, other vulnerable groups might also benefit. LGBTQ communities also have higher rates of menthol tobacco use, as do adolescents. Check what it say right here. So out of 923,000 smokers that might quit, that includes 230,000 African American smokers, basically 25%. So out of almost 1 million people that might quit, they only focus on the 25% of them, which happen to be black. And they also mentioning about LGBTQ communities also have a higher rate of menthol tobacco use. Yo, this whole story, if you can't see it, they aiming this thing at black people. Because, again, just like BLM and all them other race-baiting organizations, they've been realized that this is a big money pit. This is a big money thing. Keep crying about systematical racism. Don't get me wrong. Everybody knows there's racism in the country. But these people and these news stories and these news companies, they're making big profit selling this fear of racism and white supremacy, and they're selling this. This is a money pit. They're getting rich off of this stuff, acting like they care. These people don't care about black lives. They're shouting Black Lives Matter. Black lives don't matter to them. It's just about money. All of them making money off of this, except black people. They're getting rich off of black people who getting killed by the police selling fear and selling these stories. None of the money is going back to the black communities. They're making this whole thing about the black smokers who smoking cigarettes that contain menthol. Like Newport, that's why they had pictured the Newport in the story. Now, it have way more white people that smoke Newports than black people. But they're not talking about, it's a big health issue across the board of all races. No, they just focus on black smokers. This is pandering again in another form. White people smoke way more menthol cigarettes, Newports, than black people. You think the only people buying these Newports is black people? Man, please. You go in these corner stores in the black community, you see black people, they be buying Lucy's, one cigarette out the box, which is illegal. You see white people going in the store, they be buying cases of that stuff. Yeah, give me 10 cases, Bob. Black men go in there, they buying Lucy's. Hey, let me get 2 Lucy's. Illegal sales. This thing bigger than what white is they're telling you, man. This is a money thing. These people don't care about you. They don't care about nobody lives. It's just about money. And they're pandering and they're making money off of y'all emotions with police killings, with this thing about systematical racism, about white people don't like you. They're just making money off of this. The news outlets, these is big stories for them. Now they're linking cigarettes to racism. Yeah. I guess a bunch of Negroes, y'all gonna run out there now and, stock up on these cigarettes, this poison. They don't need to ban them. It's a free country. People should be able to do what they want to do. People want to smoke them, that's on them. What are they gonna ban next? Maybe Popeye's chicken, Church's chicken, all that soul food, macaroni and cheese, all that crap that lead to obesity, which is like the number one killer in black people here in America. Most of us have fat, overweight. We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about that. I'm telling you, these people, they don't care. If they had cared, they would talk about the stuff that's really affecting us. Not trying to link everything to racism. They talk about the stuff that really affecting us. Like fatherless households in the black community. 80% of the households are raised by single mothers. That's where all the dysfunction comes from. That's ground zero for all the dysfunction in the black community. But we ain't gonna talk about that. We congratulating these women on being single mothers, picking these deadbeat dudes who never had no job, these street dudes, these thugs, to just keep having children with. And we keep telling them that they're strong for having children, raising them by themselves. But that's where most of the dysfunction comes from. Not no white people who don't like black people. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, I better pay attention. Anyway, I'm going to leave it just like that. This is your boy Rasta Thomas. This is the Negro Network. Ayo.
Yo, I gotta get my mind right. At the same time, I gotta get my grind.